An important part of reading sheet music is understanding rests and how they fit into various subdivisions of sheet music. In this lesson, we'll explain how to read and count them within drum notation. Now, a rest is essentially a break in a measure. You stop playing until the specified rest is complete. Then you resume playing the notation after the rest. You can think of it as an empty space that you count out loud but don't actually play on the drums. Let's look at the first line on the provided sheet music. The first example shows 4 quarter notes, though the fourth one may look a little funny to you. And that is because instead of it being a note that you play on the drums, it's actually a rest. You see, for every 4/4 measure, we still need to count in our heads 1, 2, 3, 4. But that doesn't mean we need to hit a drum on all 4 counts. This first measure shows that we only play the snare drum on the first 3 counts, then the rest on the 4th. Let me demonstrate this on my hi-hats. I'll repeat the first measure 3 times, and I'll count out loud so you can hear where the rest comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, each measure of 4/4 must always have 4 quarter notes, whether you actually play them on the drums or not. So this rest allows the count to remain steady while you don't play on every beat. Let's look at the second example. It's full of 1/8 notes, except you may notice a new symbol on the 3 and the 4 counts. This indicates an 1/8 note rest. Now, while the symbol for an 1/8 note rest is different than a quarter note rest, the idea is the same. The only difference is the length of the rest. The measure is to be counted 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But if you're actually to play this pattern on your drums, you wouldn't play the snare on the 3 or the 4 counts. Let me quickly demonstrate this for you by playing it on my hi-hats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's move on to the third example, which is full of 16th notes. I'm sure you're starting to understand what's going on here. There's a new symbol that indicates the rest within 16th notes. Once again, this measure is counted exactly as if all the rests were replaced with 16th notes. However, when you play the pattern, the rests aren't played. Let me demonstrate this by playing it on my hi-hats. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Sheet music examples 4, 5, and 6 show 1/8 note triplets, 16th note triplets, and 32nd notes. I don't want to get too repetitive here, but essentially they work the same way. You count them like regular notes, but you don't play the rest counts when you're actually playing the pattern on your drum set. Now, all these different rests may seem complicated to remember. All the different symbols to rests or different subdivisions look very similar. But I want to go over some quick tips on how to sight read these rests. Let's start back at the top of the page. Notice how quarter notes are not connected in any way. The quarter note rest is also a single squiggle with no horizontal line. Now, with the 1/8 notes and the 1/8 note triplets in examples 2 and 4, we see they both have a single horizontal line that connects these note groupings. Likewise, the rests have one dot with a little horizontal line connecting to a slash. This dot matches the horizontal line connecting the note groupings. Look at the 16th notes and the 16th note triplets in examples 3 and 5. They have 2 horizontal lines connecting each group of notes. And as the pattern continues, the corresponding rests have 2 dots with 2 horizontal lines connecting to a slash. And finally, the 32nd notes in example 6 are connected with 3 horizontal lines, and the rests feature 3 dots. So, let's quickly review. Rests fit into all subdivisions of time. They take the place of their corresponding notes and are to be counted, but not actually played on the drums. If you completely understand this concept, you can move on to another lesson. However, it is recommended that you check back and review this video in the future to be sure you're always reading and interpreting rests correctly.